In this video, you will follow the steps of the most famous art thieves of all time. Here are our top 3 cases, and of course, our bonus story. And here it is. Number 3. Boston Museum Heist, the largest number of stolen pieces in one heist. In the early morning hours of March 18, 1990, 2 men dressed as a policeman enters Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. They claim they are responding to a disturbance call. In the next hour, they managed to tie the guards and disappear with 13 works of art. The case is unsolved, no arrests have been made and no works have been recovered. The FBI valued the haul at $500 million, and the museum is offering a $10 million reward for information leading to the art's recovery, the largest bounty ever offered by a private institution. It is the highest value theft of private property ever and includes works by Vermeer, Rembrandt, and Manet. None of those great artworks has been found to this day. The stolen works were part of the collection of Isabella Stewart Gardner and intended for permanent display at the museum. Among them was the concert, one of only 34 known paintings by Johannes Vermeer and thought to be the most valuable unrecovered painting in the world. Also missing is The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, Rembrandt's only seascape. Other paintings and sketches by Rembrandt, Degas, Manet, and Flinck were stolen. The experts still do not have a theory for the way thieves choose which artworks to steal, since more valuable pieces were left untouched. The empty frames remain hanging in the gallery waiting for the missing works to return. One of the theories is that this heist is an act of criminal organization, probably the Boston Mafia. But all the collected interrogations, undercover informants, and sting operations do not lead to solid proof. Others suspect the gangster Bobby Donati organized it, but he was murdered a year after the robbery. Despite all efforts like offered reward money, reduced prison sentences, and even freedom for given information, the case remains unsolved. Number 2. The Mona Lisa Heist, the heist that made that lady famous. In 1911, Vincenzo Peruggia quietly walked out of Paris Louvre with the famous Mona Lisa painting tucked neatly under his clothes. Planning the heist, Peruggia was working for a while in the museum as a handyman. On Sunday, August 20, 1911, he waited till the closing of the museum for visitors and the staff to leave the building and spend the night hidden inside. In the morning, he took of the painting and removed the wooden frame. The only thing that stops him on his way out is one locked doorknob, but one of the Louvre's plumbers took him for a trapped co-worker and assisted him. The museum staff had no clue that the Mona Lisa had been stolen for at least a day because the painting was removed from the walls for cleaning or photography and left in the storage closet. The heist became an international sensation that made the painting far more famous. The Louvre had over 400 rooms but only 200 guards and even fewer on duty overnight, said Noah Charney, founder of the Association for Research into Crimes Against Art, ARCA. There were basically no alarms in play. It was undersecure. But to be fair, most museums were at that time. Peruggia stashed her in the false bottom of a trunk and lay low for 2 years. Other sources claimed it was in his apartment all the time. After 60 detectives seeking stolen Mona Lisa and the head of the Paris police retirement, an art dealer received a note from Peruggia. He signed it Leonardo and offered the painting. When he finally tried to sell the thing, he was promptly caught and the Mona Lisa returned to the Louvre, where it remains exposed. Peruggia was arrested and eventually sentenced to 7 months in jail. It's widely believed that this act of art theft gained the Mona Lisa popularity outside the art world. After its returning, it started a wave of conspiracy theories about its meaning, origins, and even speculations that the returned painting is fake. The amount of theories about it continues to grow to this day. Our bonus story. The Montreal Museum heist called the Skylight Caper. In the early morning of September 4, 1972, 3 armed robbers used a skylight under repair to gain entry to the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts from its roof. After tying the guards, they left on foot with 18 paintings, including a rare Rembrandt landscape and works by Jan Bruegel the Elder, Corot, Delacroix, Rubens, and Thomas Gainsborough. The thieves took advantage of weakened security, resulting from the renovations at the museum, which had left the skylight's alarm disabled. The thieves planned to leave the same way they came but found the keys of the museum's panel trucks in one of the guards. Leaving through one of the museum side entrances, the alarm went off, and they managed to escape with half their planned loot. 18 paintings and 38 other pieces had been taken. Collectively, they estimated the value of the stolen work at $2 million. Most of the paintings taken were small, and one of them in size of letter piece of paper. The largest ones were the Courbet, Gainsborough, and Corot's Dreamer. It was possible that when the thieves ran away, each of them held a batch of smaller paintings in one hand and a larger one in the other. The thieves also took 38 pieces of jewelry and figurines in their pockets. The thieves started ransom negotiations with the returning of one of the Bruegel's paintings. The negotiations cost the museum $10,000 with no results. None of the other paintings has ever been recovered, and the robbers have never been arrested or even publicly identified, although there is at least one informal suspect. This case still remains unsolved. Our number 1. Stockholm Museum Heist. This heist in Stockholm Museum is the one in that list that is closer to the action movie than to real life. On December 22, 2000 at about 4:55 p.m., 2 staged car explosions distracted the police from the following heist. 5 minutes before the museum closes, 3 men walk into the museum, armed with submachine guns and pistols. They took 3 paintings, a self-portrait by Rembrandt, and 2 small Renoir paintings, Conversation with the Gardener and Young Parisian. This total amount of them is between $30 to $36 million, but all the thieves needed to reach and detach the paintings was wire cutters. The robbers escaped by throwing nails on the road to hinder the police cars and fleeing in a motorboat they had moored in a nearby waterway. The loot is worth $30 million. Unusually, all 3 pieces were eventually found, though it took years and some luck to track them all down. The investigation begins to unravel after the man who sold his boat to the thieves gave the police their real phone numbers. The 2 names that popped out from that link were Alexander Petrov and Stefan Nordstrom, that was in a minimum security prison and were allowed to go out for the weekends. In January 2001, the police refused to pay the ransom for the paintings, and later, the masterminds of the scheme, as well as their lawyer and several other accomplices, were arrested. The police arrest 13 people involved in the heist, but the paintings remain hidden. 2 months later, busting drug dealers, the police found one of them, and in 2005, during another drug operation, the other 2 paintings popped out. If you like the video, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, or share it. This will be a sign for us that we are doing something valuable.